If you don't know what you want to do with your life, how you want to be, you will never be it or do what you want to do. You have to dream, yes, but also focus. Say, that's what I want to be. And choose carefully, because if you work hard, that is what you'll become. It's not dreams, it's focus. And that is so important. If you're playing a game and you want to throw a ball into a basket, you focus on the basket and you throw and you miss and you throw again and you miss, and eventually you will hit what you want. So dream and focus and you will do it.
Thank you, sir. So would you like to add to that, please?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I was having a chat with you guys just now, trying to find out what your dreams are. That's exactly what I was trying to do, and I found out who plays cricket and who's interested in acting, etc. Now, my first film was just mentioned, which the rough translation is the future of the past. And someone, I was just reading, was it your book? Maybe someone else's, that you know, what connects us to our past is our memories. And what connects us to our future dreams. But then your question was, should we dream for success? Now, I think this success is kind of interpreted, and different people have different ideas about what success is. I don't think you should be too bothered about success. You should just do what you want to do. Find out what you're good at. Like you play cricket, I wanted to be a cricketer, but at some point of time I realized that I wasn't good enough to be one. So I quickly changed to my next passion, which was cinema. Now that is there, and just go for it. Don't think about success, because then people are going to push you to doing things, taking the competitive exams in engineering or whatever it is, and ask you to become a doctor. That's not it. Financial stability and all that will come. Like, have you seen this film called 3 Idiots, where he says in Hindi, I'm going to try and translate it in English for everyone, that don't run after what you love doing, and if you're good at that, success is going to run after you. So I think that's the whole thing.
4-mile run, and you go for that 4-mile run, and you run for 4 hours. That is success. Succeeding in what you set out to do, not fame or what the world thinks is success. Success should be doing what you set out to do, and that can be quite private. So you succeed in getting your exams. You then, the next year, succeed in something else. You succeed in making more friends. You succeed in making someone happy. I think success is what you should look for. I disagree here. But don't try to be rich. Don't try to be famous. That isn't success. Success is having friends, having people who value you. Those are the things you should look for. Helping people, seeing that the joy that will bring you, you will succeed in doing that. But yes, hard work, because there are days when we feel we can't do anything. We're hopeless, and you have to battle through that. All of you inspire me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Everybody who does their job well, everybody who takes the advantage of life and does as well as they can in their situation. Those people inspire me. The people I hate are the people who don't care, who don't bother, who don't try. The people who waste their life, who don't realize that we have one life. This is it. We have one day now. Now has gone. Now it's the next now. And we have to grab that. And people who live like that, like this one, like that one, like that one, and sometimes me, they inspire me.
Thank you.
I was very lucky. I was middle class, so I had a good education, and I was educated among people who were going to become military officers or the Navy, or bank managers or businessmen. And the idea of going into any of those professions, those careers, for me was, it's a difficult word this, was anathema. It was something I couldn't bear to think about. I wanted to be a gypsy. Now in this country, gypsies are not much liked. Gypsies make a mess, they're not to be trusted, they are. But interestingly, gypsies, when they came to England, were an Indian tribe. And the English thought they were Egyptian, so they called them gypsies, because they thought they came from Egypt. In fact, they came from Syria. But what I liked about a gypsy life was the fact I was able to move around and tell stories in different places with groups of people. If you like, sit around the fire and tell stories in the dark, sing songs, get to know people in the firelight. And then when dawn came, I could move on my horse, go somewhere else, and meet a new group and tell more stories. And I wanted to live like that, if not physically, then mentally. And I felt that to be an actor might allow me to move around to work in different places. As it happens, I do. I work in America, I work in Europe, I work in China, I work in Australia, I work in South America, telling stories. Sometimes those stories we tell in the theatre, in plays. Sometimes those stories we tell to a camera, and you watch them on the screen. And I work on those plays or films for 5 months, 6 months, whatever. And I make very close friendships. And then the film is over, and I move on, and I make another story with other friends. And that is a way I enjoy living. I've been very lucky. Most actors, I suppose 98% of actors, are not so lucky. Acting is a very hard job. You don't know when the next work is going to happen. If you're not careful, you spend all your time waiting to work. I don't believe in waiting. I have many things I do when I'm not filming. I have horses and boats, and I do many things. I travel, I have a family, I have dogs. And so when I go to work, I continue to be a gypsy, and then I come home to the family I've made. Then how can you play ordinary people? How can you understand ordinary people? To be humble is to realize you are the same as everybody, that we're all the same. We all try to do what we can as best we can. And we sometimes fail, and we sometimes mess up. But we are ordinary people, but maybe to the audience, because we're so big on the screen, they see us and they see my face in the paper, they think I'm special. it's very important you remember you're not special. You're just somebody who does a very public job. Very early in my career, I worked with a wonderful actress called Meryl Streep. And I remember one day we were driving to work in a car that was as about as long as this room. And she said, "Don't ever forget, the size of this car has nothing to do with you. The size of this car is purely to get you to work safely." So it's important to be humble. Your friends keep you humble. My son, my children keep me humble. My wife keeps me humble. It's very important. Very great quality to try to keep, however good you are as a footballer or as a writer or whatever. Remember that in your heart, your lungs, your heart, your kidneys beat and work in exactly the same way as everybody else. Maybe you have a little bit more luck than some people, but that doesn't make you different in any way. Die, because I think there's a great pleasure in sitting in a great auditorium with fantastic screen quality and fantastic sound, with a group of like-minded people who want to hear this story and share it together. I know that my enjoyment of a film is always greater when I do that. And so I think the best cinemas will remain. I think there are many cinemas which are a disgrace and which should close because they've made themselves too small, the sound is not good, the screen is not much bigger than your television at home, and you have to go out and get a taxi and maybe have dinner afterwards or supper afterwards at great expense, and you think to yourself, why? I prefer to see this on my television with a plate of scrambled eggs. So I think the great cinemas will always have a place, as the great concert halls will always have a place, even though we have sound systems at home. That is my hope. Because there is something so important about sharing, doing things together. It is a great pleasure. There are a huge number. I've just made a series called Watchmen for HBO in America, which is set in present day. It's not really well, it was a graphic novel originally, it comes from that. But there seems to be a huge market for cartoons and for Marvel science, well not what you call it, sort of Marvel films. I don't know, I don't watch them. I would always be more interested to see a smaller budget, more filled with less explosions and more heart.